that way? Was that ever pursued?
Yes, I actually talked to her a couple times. Lakeisha, I actually was talking to her a couple years ago. Everything was seeming great, we was communicating, and then the communication just stopped. I don't know what.
For years, whispers have followed Jay-Z about a secret son. And now, it seems like the truth may finally be catching up to him. What started as quiet rumors has blown up into a full-blown legal battle. And Beyonce, well, she's reportedly doing everything she can to keep things from spiraling out of control. A test that way. Was that ever pursued? Yes, I actually talked to her a couple times, Lise. I actually was talking to her a couple years ago. Everything was seeming great. We was communicating, and then the communication just stopped. I don't know what happened. Let's start from the beginning. A man named Reimer Satterthwaite has claimed for over a decade that Jay-Z is his biological father. His story isn't new, but what is new is how far things have come. A court has finally stepped in and ordered Jay-Z to submit a DNA sample after years of avoiding it. For Reimer, who's now an adult, this could be the moment he finally gets the closure he's been chasing most of his life. Think of the girl like Tasha K. She got a joint Jay-Z son on there. Oh, his alleged son.
No, 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 no.
If you talk to him personally, that's his son. You think that's his son?
Yeah.
You know what I think his son? First of all, Jay-Z offered the money, and first he offered him bread and everything, but his aunt, this just like his caretaker, didn't approve of it. She said, no, this Jay-Z got a lien on her house. All type of underscore that was going on. Yeah, the lady put up paperwork and everything with his name on it and all that. But Young was so thorough though. He just wanted dad. He not trying to get no money. He not trying to do none of that. That's why, so I told him when he called me 2 years ago, I said, listen, I don't want to be the one to tell your story because they're going to think I'm trying to get catch rep off of it. So, let me let you tell your story somewhere else first. You mean then I can talk about it? But he called me 2 years ago telling me you mean I said, oh, young boy. He I just want a dad. I don't want no money. I'm already 18. I think he was 20-something at the time.
You mean?
But something happened to him, and I was yo, that sound kind of weird. He said he was coming out from work going to work, and it was a gun in his car when he opened the door, seen the gun. He said he went to go I called his man yo, did you leave a gun in my car? His man's no. He said, why on the phone talking to his man? The cops pull up and block him up. He said he'd tell the cops, no, that's not my gun. He's so he went in the building he was in, and they seen that somebody pulled up and put the guns in his car.
Oh.
And pulled off. I said, bro, I don't know nobody in the hood that got guns that just waste like that to do that. I don't know. He's yeah, so Jay-Z had a gag order against him. Trying to get a gag order and try to, if my thing is if this is not my son, I just take a test, get over with.
Yeah.
You mean the fact that you did dodging and whatever to me, I don't nobody want to talk about the other kids that everybody denies don't exist. What to be a billionaire that can't get a loan is one thing. But to be a broke billionaire and a deadbeat dad, that's something different.
Yeah.
Even Solange's son, the Daniel kid, he says he doesn't have a great relationship with, Beyonce, Jay-Z. What do you feel someone coming out saying, hey, Jay-Z is my father? What does that person want from a hope if he's saying he does not care that his mother wasn't a liar because that's what they said his entire life while she was alive. Denying him makes her a liar. That woman was on the phone with a judge who was harassing her, telling her, demanding that she stop filing for paternity when she gave way and died. His mama died on the phone, trying to get proper acknowledgement for him. If your mama died like that, would you just sit around and let people keep calling her a liar? That's how your mama died, with a judge yelling at her. And turns out now all these judges were bought off and paid off, and they're going to be looking at sanctions and probably charges because what they did was illegal. According to sources close to the situation, Beyonce may have had a bigger role in this than people realize. One person who reportedly knew someone in Beyonce's circle said she once brushed off the situation, allegedly saying something like, "Go away, little boy." Of course, this is hearsay, but what's not in question is how tightly this secret has been kept. Behind the scenes, insiders claim Beyonce has been pushing hard to keep the situation quiet. Not because she's unsure of Jay-Z's past, but because confirming this child would shatter the image they've built together. Think about it. Beyonce and Jay-Z are known as the ultimate power couple. Their brand, their family, their legacy. Everything depends on keeping that perfect image intact. But now that image might be in serious trouble. And it seems they've tried to keep it quiet for a long time. But I'm letting y'all know it is not all roses and fairies in the Carter household. Beyonce has also dealt with a lot of mental health issues, a lot of depression, allegedly alcoholism. Allegedly. 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 And I said that real low. If you caught it, you called it. If you didn't, you didn't. Allegedly. But nonetheless, yeah, we're seeing the decline of this marriage/relationship. And when his tea come out, I really want to know how they're going to navigate this. Look at her during the Fantasia performance. She looked weird and skinny. Where you get all, I can't tell you where I get all the spicy tea. Allegedly. Allegedly. And let me say this too, between the stress, the money, the spiritual work. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. Why do they I don't know, I don't want to talk about nobody kids. You said, why do they never show the sun? Because they don't really show the sun much. They focus mostly on Blue or Rumi because they know that the internet is a really cruel place. They know that people are really cool, and so they would just rather not. And that's all I can say. And if this thing with RHYR were to come out, it would spell big trouble for the Carters. What I've heard about them as a couple is that they've been living separate lives for a very long time. So they together, but they living separate. And part of the reason why they are already living separate lives, and we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood, is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed. And it's only so much of these stories that Jay-Z, he can pay off or he can block.
He won't be able to stop this.
And she knows it and he knows it, too. As far as who's going to be the breakout victim/story, I don't know. Y'all might have to ask JC. I don't know. But I'm just letting you know that once that comes out and Jay-Z is exposed for his nefarious past, you're going to see Beyonce divorce him. Okay? And she may or may not do an interview, but their publicist is going to release something. She's going to say, oh, the Carters have been separated for some time. They built this beautiful life. Blah, 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 blah. Now, before all this happens, we may get another tour. We may get another album out of both of them. I don't know. 'Cause at the end of the day, they about their money first. They're going to do what's best for business first. As far as Beyonce is concerned, does she love him? I mean, he's really all that she knows. She was ready to leave him years ago, but the industry it's different. And I don't want to say it's an Illuminati contract, 'cause I don't know how the Illuminati get down. I really don't know. And I'm not going to lie to you and say I do. But essentially, she's been stuck, right? But I believe this is going to be her chance to get out. And according to what I heard, if certain things that I can't even speak on come out, she gone. She's going to protect her image. All right. And this, I don't know what would be the bigger divorce, Will and Jada or Beyonce and Jay-Z, but just know everybody's going to be talking about it. TMZ is going to talk about it first, and we're going to be talking about it probably for 6 months. The story gets more complicated when you look at the timeline. Reimer's mother, Wanda, reportedly met Jay-Z in the early 90s, long before Beyonce was part of his life. Wanda was a teenager at the time while Jay-Z was in his early 20s. They allegedly had a brief encounter, but according to Wanda, she ended up pregnant afterward. Jay-Z was already focused on launching his music career, and Wanda didn't have his real contact information, making it hard to reach him. Then it all hits the fan. Wanda gives birth, but is in a relationship with another man named Robert, who signs the birth certificate. According to reports, Robert allegedly knew the child wasn't his, but signed it anyway, possibly to help Wanda secure public assistance. Wanda was still recovering from childbirth when it happened and reportedly didn't know he had signed it. Reimer says he learned the truth when he was about 8 years old. His mom sat him down and told him that Jay-Z was his biological father. Not long after, Wanda passed away. But before she died, she signed a sworn affidavit stating that Jay-Z was the father. That document would become a key part of a legal battle that's lasted for years. My Raimier, right? Raimier Stoudemire is his name. We'll pull his name back up.